Greetings to all of you, and thank you so much for inviting me to speak to you today. I appreciate it because I care about Miami. I care about how our climate is connected to every single aspect of our lives. I care about the health and well-being of women and girls and families, and I know you do too. I listen to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. I listen to young people about the urgency to act, that we have just 10 years to cut our carbon emissions in half, and then until 2050 to move entirely away from fossil fuels to a green energy future. That is so important for us to understand. I listen when scientists, physicians, and social justice researchers tell us that extreme heat is adversely affecting pregnant people, pregnant women, and birth outcomes, especially for women of color. This is true because all too often, low-income communities and communities of color are where fossil fuel companies put their refineries and their petrochemical companies and their oil wells and fracking pits. They're called sacrifice zones. So I think that your Women's Fund and I have a lot in common. And that's why I'm with you here today. Collectively, you are on a mission that I share, to create a community where health and well-being, power and possibility aren't limited by gender, race, or socioeconomic status. It is essential to apply a gender lens to find solutions to most problems. And I see that you're doing that, and I congratulate you for that. You know, Miami is in a position to lead in both research and in action, and I'm thrilled to see that the Women's Fund Miami-Dade, in collaboration with your local government, community partners, and stakeholders, will be launching a major campaign on May 28th, National Heat Awareness Day, to drive life-saving calls to action on how we can and must provide care for mothers-to-be, to ensure that they have the tools, the knowledge, and the resources they need to empower themselves to be protected from the negative outcomes of extreme heat. It's just brilliant that the gender lens is being added to health advisories and that public and private sectors are working together. I understand that a lot more can be done and needs to be done. I look forward to hearing from you about what you've accomplished. I mean, you have some great activists and leaders in Miami, and frankly, we need more women in climate leadership. Women are leading climate. You know, in my Fire Drill Fridays, I always see that there are more women than by about 2/3, and they tend to be older women too. And it makes me very proud. Women are more affected, more impacted by the climate crisis. We bear the brunt of it, and we're also at the forefront of the solutions. So we need even more women in climate leadership positions. Maybe some of our greatest new leaders will come from your grade schools, right? High schools or your universities. You, for better or worse, you are at ground zero for climate change in the United States. And I, for one, want to see your beautiful city shine and thrive and survive, not just for myself, but for my grandchildren and theirs. You're also on the leading edge of the U.S. in being a beautiful melting pot of diversity and cultures, a rich and creative center from where I can envision better solutions arising. Solutions that address the needs of all of our citizens, inclusive and representative. I act when I see things that I cannot unsee. I learn from those who are most affected, and I try to follow their lead. And I imagine that you in the audience today, that you do this too. I mean, you are people who show up, and I thank you for that. So I ask you all to join me, roll up your sleeves, put on those gender lenses, and support the important work that must be done. And start, because the time is now, and it's all hands on deck, right? I look forward to a full report and the emerging issues and solutions you will share. But in the meantime, enjoy the work, enjoy the collaboration, and have a good time. There's no question that our lives are richer and that we're stronger when we work together. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best.